are getting killed off.
Well, I mean, who else got killed off? Hey, it's me and Dr. V. We're arguing over Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. We love Star Trek. We watch it. We do it all, but we're having arguments over if it's any good or not. But I'll tell you, last week was tremendous. The other show I'm really into is Tehran on Apple TV. I don't know if that's too heavy for Joe here, but it is great. It's in the last episode is season 3. Is this Friday? And they said nothing happened untoward in Greece. They are filming season 4, and the producer got killed or died or something happened, and nobody knows. And there's the Greeks are saying because Tehran's about the Mossad and the Iranians. So it's just like, the CIA type stuff. The CIA's been in it too. So it's just really good stuff. And then she died. So I thought that was crazy. And I want to throw out here also, they're really not talking about it, but some dude got shot and killed outside Mar-a-Lago today. All I can say is this: why would anybody want to go there? It makes no sense whatsoever. If you want to protest nonviolently, stay away from these places. What are you looking for? Now, look, we don't know the facts. We don't know anything, Joe. I normally believe in the Secret Service and normally believe they're doing the right thing and they know what they're doing. They're not ICE. But at the same time, people got to be smart. Don't we have a No Kings Day coming up soon?
Probably.
I think it's in March, isn't it?
It's March,
something?
yeah.
So it should be great. And we're cheering on the No. We are the No Kings because we're not kings, but we're here pushing it every week, twice a week. We're going to do today. Now, Joe was going to put together this 10-page State of the Union, the Dr. V State of the Union, but his grandchildren are coming. So he can't do a full Dr. V State of the Union today. So being the guy he is that we all know, he has it up there. I'm going to take a different approach.
Now be honest. I was ready. I said, let's do a good State of the Union. And you said, okay. And so I'm prepping for it. I got 4 pages written. And then you say, no more than 4 paragraphs.
Right.
Because you'll bore people.
You bore people.
Come on, Spartacus.
You'll bore yourself.
Tell me I would bore people with 4 pages.
You'll fall asleep reading 4 pages. What are you talking about? People can't focus like that anymore. That's like our times. We're the old guys. You got to come up with boom, 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 pop, explode. It's over. That's how it is now, Joe. We're different. We're old, Joe. We're old. But it's cool because
there's nuance.
A lot.
There's nuance. There's presenting a case.
Well, nuance.
Presenting some data.
Yeah, like a comma here and a semicolon there. What we're talking about is we're gonna do our State of the Unions. I take a different approach to it. We call it our pre-State of the Union, where we are going to react, where we're going to act and call out the State of the Union before President Trump has his shot to call out the State of the Union to say what it is. So Joe has it all in there, which I think is really good. And I'm going to hear it. Hopefully people will be so psyched. They'll be jumping up and down when it's over. Joe, I got my notes. I know you don't need notes. You're just a data machine. I know it. It's right there. What are you saying on your State of the Union? How do you see the State of the Union?
You want me to go first?
Well, okay, I'll go first then. I like how you're throwing it out to me because it's all right out there. Look.
I want you to build up the audience first before I bore everybody.
I'll try.
I want a hot audience.
Here we are. Look, we're losing. Look, what is the state of our union? I don't think it's great. It's not great. We are a great country. We have so much going for us, but we were great. We're not great, the State of the Union today. Let's look why and look at the different approaches and see what's going on. Let's look at the economy. You can fight all you want. The recent trade deficit just came in. It was horrible. It was as bad as it was last year, just as wide, just as long. Gross national product, I think it was gross national product, was down to 1 point something percent. Inflation was up. There's always excuses. If it's looking good, it's this reason. If it's looking bad, it's this reason. This is the bottom line. People aren't happy. You go out, you buy, you feel it, you see it. It's just so expensive. To eat lunch, it's expensive. To eat dinner, if you go out, it's expensive. To go to the grocery store, it's expensive. Utilities are outrageously expensive. You're paying tariffs, and we'll get to that pretty quickly. We're paying tariffs. It's just a feeling. People don't feel good. Now, the latest polls, and I think it was the Washington Post came out today, said people are, it's like kind of like the same, though people don't like Trump even more, but they don't like the Democrats either. So what's the difference, right? Well, the difference is people will come out and vote against Trump. Trump's got to get people to come out and vote for his people, which will be very tough to do in an off season like this. But people are bummed. People are unhappy. Wait till we see how many people come out. We have a No Kings March coming out in a month. Wait till we see everybody come out in the No Kings March. It'll be great. But as we're doing that, it's because people feel it. They feel the inflation. Trump talks about affordability. Affordability is still out there. It's just a word that's been overused. People don't feel good about how much it costs. You go out for lunch, it costs you $40 at a half decent place. You go out for two people. You go out for dinner, it costs you $60 at a half decent place for two people. If you want to do it, you're willing to drop the cash. That's just so expensive. And the problem is inflation doesn't go down. It only goes up. The state of our union, our economy now is not good. Not good. And now what happened? In the Supreme Court came out, the supine court, as you know, I call them that because they're supine to Trump. 6-3 came out and said that he used the wrong sections or part of the law to try to tax other countries, calling it tariffs. The Supreme Court exposed what it was. It's a tax. Taxes are supposed to be done by Congress. What's interesting is you have all these senators who got all upset about it because essentially the Supreme Court gave back to them power they've been too willing to cede over to Trump and just hand it over to him. But look at what the Supreme Court did for him before we see how crazy he got. They didn't rule on it till yesterday. They have allowed Trump to take all this time from the argument all the way down, which seemed to be a bit obvious from the Constitution if you read it. But they took this argument and they let Trump keep putting it in, making deals. He got what he wanted because now all he's done is he's changed over from this scheme to this scheme, this statute to this statute. And if he's got to worry about coming back to Congress in 5 months, he'll worry about it then. And he'll have some excuse to ignore it by executive order. So you have that problem going on. He's got what he's got, and the Supreme Court gave it to him. The only issue that's really coming up that I think is important, Joe, and we'll be seeing that as we go on, and this is the State of the Union, will be birthright. If people born here are citizens, that's going to be the big question. That's going to be the big case. But why he would go out and start calling these justices disloyal, I call them supine. I don't call them disloyal. I don't call them anything but I know they're in the back pocket of Trump. With Kavanaugh and with Alito and with Thomas that they're going to vote with Trump. I mean, how much money did Thomas get from all these guys who had companies that had some interest in front of them, billions and put in his pocket? So Trump shouldn't be bummed, but we have a loon. No, we have a president, I think, who has lost it. I don't think he's there. I've said it. You don't come out and start saying that there's foreign influences that made the supines vote the way they did. They read the Constitution. The Constitution says the power to tax is on the Congress, not on the president. That's what we have. And then you read you read all these people talking about this disloyal and treason and all this kind of stuff. Come on. This is a problem. This is another reason why our union is not great, because people come out and listen to Trump and go, yeah, that's right. I read some people go, well, he treated Amy Coney Barrett, a justice, as a daughter. Big deal. Does that mean a daughter's got to do everything a dad wants? At least she stands up and says what she thinks, but she generally votes with them. They all generally vote with them. So you've got that. You've got the problem with the inflation. You got the trade deficit bigger, wider. You have the affordability problem, which is still there. People are very uncomfortable. You have the tariffs. Which have not gone away. They're still there, and it's shown that 90% of the tariff money has been paid for by American companies and Americans, and it isn't going away. And now that these tariffs are there, they're going to be passing them on even more. That's a real problem. You have a government of misinformation. We always talk about Orwell, Joe. We always talk about that, right? The Ministry of Truth. We talk about the Ministry of disinformation. the lies that go out. Did you just hear the other day? Christy Nome said we have to have the right voters vote for the right candidates. Isn't that nice that we now have our government telling us this? We have government lying to us coming all the way down. Our State of the Union is not in good shape, and we're going to have a president who's going to lose it on Tuesday. I say watch it. I'm just going to watch the greatest hits afterwards because I can't put up with all of it. But this is the kind of stuff he's going to talk about, how great the economy is. The economy is not great. We have no allies. Let's go into our foreign policy, Joe. You know how I feel about Iran. It's all a matter of whether or not he does it right. Let's look at this. He moved into Venezuela. He's gotten the oil. Some people there think they're doing a little bit better. A couple of people have been laid out of jail, but there's no democracy there right now. Maybe he'll push towards it. He's strangling Cuba. It doesn't bother me. I feel bad for the people, but they're living in a horrible situation. But he's got an armada down in Iran, near Iran. And this is what I'm hearing. State of the Union, we're talking, right? Maybe we'll do a limited strike, Joe. Let's wake up here, okay? I've been around the sun a whole lot of times. Either you don't hit them or you smash them. We're dealing with a group of people here, these leaders, who would rather die than live. Our State of the Union isn't good. We're looking at all this. To these people, life is not as good as death. I'm not on them. I'm not taking a position. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. They can believe the way they want to believe. But the Ayatollah is willing to die. And the IRGC is willing to die. They went out after we hit them, and they killed, 20,000 Iranians? Who knows the number? But a large amount been going out, and they keep doing it. If we're going to go out and just hit them softly at the beginning or a couple strikes, they're going to come right back at us. We'll lose more Americans. We're going to lose more Americans that way. Who knows what else we lose? If you go into war, I'm not saying to do it, but I'm saying this stuff about pitter patter is BS. The state of our union, we're not in a good shape right now when we look at stuff like this. But if we're going to go into Iran, we got to smash them. No pitter patter. I'll keep saying no pitter patter. Oh, we hit the nuclear area. We hit this, we hit that. You got to smash them. Give them what they want so that they sit there and they go, these leaders, I can't believe this happened, as they work their way up to heaven or wherever they think they're going. Otherwise, they're going to have plenty of missiles left. They'll use them. They'll come back after us, and they'll hurt our people. So either don't hit them or hit them. And I'll tell you this, if you hit them, you better be prepared for some losses. So we're going forward with it. So here we are, a government that believes in, it appears to me, a whole lot of muscle, a whole lot of power, a whole lot of I'm going to take you down. And I got to figure that Trump is being so unhappy about what the Supreme Court did, which only helped him throughout, plus gave him full immunity. But he's going to push it down with the Iranians. I can't see him walking away, Joe. And a little won't get you anywhere. It's only going to lead to a lot of American deaths, a lot of American problems. So what is the state of our union? Not good. Government lies. The economy's not good. We're at the brink of war with another country. We've been at war with other countries. We're at war with ourselves. We have a president that lies to us nonstop. We have a government that kills Americans and lies about killing Americans nonstop. The state of our union is not good. And people better be prepared when they hear his BS to be able to respond to something like that. Now, I've given you a full plate, Joe. I laid a full plate out for you. What do you have to say?
That was 4 paragraphs?
It was 4 questions.
Oh, now it's 4 questions.
I went to the 4 questions.
All right, let me try and do it in 4 paragraphs.
I was looking at you. I was like looking at you as you were responding.
I'll give you 4 paragraphs,
Give me 4 paragraphs.
as requested.
Okay.
Introductory paragraph. I'm a physician, so I like to look at health and well-being, and I'll try to look at health and well-being of the country along 4 dimensions. 1 is the economy. 2 is foreign affairs, how we get along with other countries. 3 is the overall health of the citizens. And four is the health of our democracy. So first, the health of the economy. We've lived through worse. The stock market is up. Inflation is higher than we would like, but we've seen it much higher than this. It's what, 2.8%, 2.7%. It's better if it's 2%, but it's not horrible. Number three, employment is reasonably good right now. Again, there's storm clouds on the horizon, but right now, employment is not terrible. Um, and interest rates are down. That the cost of borrowing money to buy a new home is down relative to what it's been recently. But the problem with our economy that I see, and the thing that gives me most concern, is that it seems to be a K-shaped economy. That it's, if you look at it overall, it seems to be good. But if you look at it in a little bit more detail, it's great for some people and not good for others. And the people that it's great for are people who already have resources, who already own a home, who have money in the stock market. The people that it's not good for are people who are less well off, who don't have resources. And it seems to be that dichotomy seems to be getting worse and worse over time. From my perspective, that's not a good trend. That a good, healthy economy is good for all the people, not just a few people at the top. Number two, if you look at foreign affairs, that many countries don't like us anymore. The idea of using tariffs as a way of punishing some countries, getting other countries to capitulate to our needs, creates, you might on the short term get some benefit out of that, but the long term is you create animosity. And it's important to have friends in the world. When we were attacked in 9/11, much of the world, particularly NATO, came to our defense. I'm not sure they would do that today because we've shown that we're not a good partner for them. We act in a very much a selfish way, not in a way that's looking out for the overall good of the world. And you could say, well, that's a good thing to be selfish, but I maintain that being selfish is a short term, not a good long term solution. And so I'm concerned about U.S. relations, particularly how we relate to our friends. We seem to be acting pretty nice to dictators, but the people who are democracies, the people who've been there for us in the past, we're acting kind of selfish toward them. Number three, domestic. The purpose of the government, particularly the executive branch, is to help people feel safe, to help people feel that they can prosper. That's incredibly important for emotional health. It's incredibly important for overall physical health. And the idea of immigration, to control immigration, if you're doing it for protecting the safety of Americans by keeping out dangerous drugs like fentanyl, keeping out dangerous criminals, that makes perfect logical sense. But sometimes I think it's beginning to creep over not into just protecting the safety of Americans, but trying to be, uh, you know, trying to attack people who came to this country, sometimes as legal immigrants, sometimes as undocumented immigrants, but they've made a life here and they're good, productive people, part of that stew that's America. And I don't believe it's a healthy thing to attack people because of the color of their skin or the language that they speak. But it's important to look at people. Are they productive members of society if they're part of the fabric of America? And so I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about the fact that health insurance is being plucked away from people. I've talked to individuals who simply can't afford health insurance anymore. For a family, it can cost $3,000 a month, and it's beyond their reach. And so they're going without health insurance. That's not healthy. So I am concerned about the overall well-being in the country. And the other thing that I'm concerned about is connection. That it's important for people to feel connected to others. And with the social media, sometimes we lose that connection. Um, that the social media tends to reward people who are dramatic, who it's show, it's performative versus substantive. And for me, it's not about getting likes on a, you know, a LinkedIn page or Facebook page. For me, it's about having a discussion where people can work together to actually solve issues. And then the final thing, and the thing that I'm most concerned about, is the health of democracy. A couple shows ago, we talked about how the Constitution seems to be coming under attack. The first article, freedom of speech, seems to be threatened. That some people, if they express their opinion, there's consequences to them. You can't weaponize, the FBI. You can't weaponize the FCC. You can't weaponize parts of government to restrict freedom of speech. That's not healthy. And you can see it on college campuses. You can see it in newspapers. You can see it on TV. You can see it in people trying to demonstrate and voice their opinion. I'm concerned about that. And the way the system was set up, our founding fathers brilliantly set up a system of checks and balances. In physiology, we call it homeostasis. If your blood sugar gets too high, your body releases insulin to help bring the blood sugar down. If your blood pressure is too high, there's a signal to your heart to slow down to reduce your blood pressure. It's checks and balances to maintain a healthy whole. And one of the things I'm concerned about is that we seem to be losing some checks and balances, that it's Congress that has the authority to make tariffs. It's Congress that has the ability to declare war. It's Congress that determines the budget and where money is spent. The executive branch, its goal is to execute the laws of the land faithfully, not to generate the laws of the land, not to make executive decisions that compromise the role of what the Congress is all about. And then you have the judicial branch. And for a while, it looked like the judicial branch was just going to be, as you say, supine. Is just going to go along with whatever Trump said. But this week, I'm really encouraged that they were able to stand up to
You're
Trump.
talking about the Supreme Court, not the branch.
The
Judicial branches
yes, I'm
have been
sorry.
taken.
So the third part of government is the judicial system, and it looks like you can see judicial judges that are under the Supreme Court that have stood up to the executive branch, and then this week the Supreme Court stood up to the executive branch, and that's very encouraging. That there is still some life. There's still some life in a functioning, healthy system that can have checks and balances. And the last thing,
if I may just keep your thought, but they didn't stand up to him, Joe. The judicial branch read the Constitution, at least the Supreme Court did. It read the Constitution a certain way, and it's their job to determine what the Constitution says. It's not a matter of standing up to the Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, or anybody.
They did their job.
I'm just saying they read the Constitution.
Yes.
They came up and did their job and said but they didn't stand up. So I want you, all they did was say Congress has, which is what you were saying, Congress has the right to tax. The president doesn't, but at the same time, they didn't stand up. They read the Constitution and said, "This is what the Constitution says." That's all. I just want to throw that out to you on that.
But I would say I would include stand up, because when they made the decisions, they knew that the reaction from the executive branch would be to criticize them and harshly criticize them, and that's exactly what happened.
But they love it. They love it because this way Roberts and them can say, I'm not supine to them. See, I stood up to them and Trump yelled and screamed at me. So they hope that they get people like you and others to go, wow, they are really cool, the Supreme Court. They stood up. I'm just throwing this out. To me, they did what they should have done. It was a good decision, at least the way I read it, but they haven't stood up to anybody. Birthright, you got others. Let's see what happens. They are basically in his back pocket. But just because they read the Constitution that way, great. Isn't that good they did their job? I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw it out.
Well,
to me,
hopefully
it's
they'll
not
continue
standing up.
to read the Constitution and make decisions based on what the Constitution says, not based on pressure coming from the executive.
Exactly.
So that's good. And the bottom line is, and I see it across all the dimensions that I talked about, is a sense of people who have resources, people who have power, who are able to get away with things at the expense of people who don't have power. And that's not a healthy situation. That a healthy body, a healthy culture supports all the people in the culture, not just the people who already have the resources. And that's the biggest concern for me. And
Well,
and hopefully people of goodwill. And I believe this country has a majority of people of goodwill. I know people who are on the left wing, people on the right wing, and when I talk to people individually, they they do have goodwill. I can tell you specific examples where a person who's a very strong MAGA supporter, when I needed help, he was there to help me. And and that's what makes this country strong and great, is that we're there to help each other. And I still believe that that is the core of this country. And we're just going through a phase right now where people are looking at their own selfish self-interest. They're looking at short-term gain at the expense of the common good, at the expense of our long-term good. Okay, so I've gone over my 4 paragraphs, but that's my sense of where the State of the Union is.
I'm telling you, you had it all up there. I saw your eyes looking down every now and then, but having it all up there, you're
Here's
happy.
my notes.
I know you had notes.
It's economy, foreign affairs,
right on,
something
right
I can't
on.
read, and democracy.
Right
Those
on,
are my
Joe.
notes.
Right on. Let me just hit the mosh
Yeah,
pit.
what's happening in the mosh pit? I haven't
First
paid
of all,
attention.
Spartacus, thank you for doing your great job. We've got people going both ways. We had somebody sitting here. I think who is this? This is LB. Trump tried to coup the country, and SCOTUS is complicit in sedition. Look, I think that they're basically in his back pocket, but sedition is such a bad word to use. Whether you're left wing or right wing, everybody likes to call somebody guilty of sedition. Look it up. It's not sedition. They take a position. They think they're right, and I don't agree with them most of the time, but hey, it's not sedition. Sedition is more like January 6th. This isn't sedition. So please, right wing or left wing, don't use it unless it's real. Traitor, sedition. I hate the words unless it's real. I don't. SCOTUS. Look, it's not corrupt. The Supreme Court. It's just that Mitch McConnell, who the Republicans who are throwing him out the door, he got him in. He lied through his teeth. Lindsey Graham lied through his teeth. All those Republicans saying you couldn't vote for a justice. Then they voted for justices against what the rules they said they had set earlier. So it is what it is, but it's not corruption. The only one I would think is corrupt is Thomas. I've talked about that. I think he's owned over and over by these guys. One of these guys has the Hitler stuff in the backyard. I think a statue of Stalin. I mean, that's my problem with Thomas. But otherwise, hey, Trump, let's go. Barney, is that Barney? Yeah, I think so. Barney, yeah, Trump. But what good is it if he's just yelling and screaming at people? Why couldn't he have said, I don't agree with that decision by the Supreme Court. They were wrong, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. What was wrong if he just said that? But you don't talk about foreign influence. You don't talk about how they're ashamed and their family should be ashamed. Their family shouldn't be ashamed. They did what they thought was right, and they did it. You may not agree with them. I may think they're generally in his back pocket, but hey, it's really simple. Leave that stuff alone. Here we go. But the president, he's 80. I think he's lost it, Joe. I think he's lost it. That's Trump. See, here we go. We got a lot of people here. It's about the people in power. Look, that's the bottom line. Joe hit it, and that's really where we are. It's the money and it's the power. We can't be divided. That's all part of the state of our union. The people with the money and the people with the power are separating us. It's very much the K economy Joe was talking about. We've been talking about the K economy for a while, but the stock market is less than 50% of the people have stocks. And who knows how many stocks they got and if their stocks are doing that well. The wealthy people don't make money. They borrow against all their wealth, so they don't have to pay real taxes. They don't get incomes. They don't need to get with $1, but they can get all these stocks, and they can get and they can take their art and they can borrow against it and give the money down to their heirs and do whatever they want with that cash and complain when they got to pay more money to do what to be what they are. Look, we have rich people and everybody else in this country. And the president is up there with them, and his family's up there with them. And all they do is say, here we go. Let's use an example. Where is it? In Michigan, the bridge, what was it, in Michigan, that they were building across from Detroit to Canada, Joe, and they had one already, and they were building a second one about to open. Trump has a heart attack, says, why are we letting them use that other bridge? Well, the first bridge, that guy gave $1 million to Trump's or to MAGA Inc. or whatever a month before, and then he talks to Epstein's buddy, what's his name, the Department of Commerce, talks to him, and then Trump says, I'm against it. I'm against it. Okay? It's the incredible corruption. You got to have money. You don't have money. All these people, what he does is he gets people who don't have money and people who are just working hard and getting them to go against each other and saying, don't listen to everybody else. Listen to me. I'm looking out for you. Meanwhile, he's putting money in his pockets. He's putting money in his family's pockets. And the rich get richer and richer. How many billionaires do we have? Billionaires, Joe. Elon Musk is pushing to be a trillionaire. These guys run this country. It's like what Standard Oil was in the early, 1900s. It's like Ford. It's like all these guys. Yeah, they had jobs, but after a while, it just becomes all concentrated in them. You have to say J.P. Morgan and those guys, Ford, all them put a lot of money into building good things for this country. I don't see anybody doing that. Do you see Gates doing that? Do you see anybody from Amazon doing it? Do you see Jazzo or any of these guys, Bezos, Elon Musk? What are they doing to take all this cash that they're getting from us because they can siphon all this cash off and help regular people? There's still lines for food out there. They're not showing it on TV, major lines for food. So I agree. We got a problem. I just think it's not good. We are so busy fighting each other that we're not looking and realizing that it's the people with money and power that are making us fight with one another instead of looking at them and going, you're the problem, and we're coming back. Nonviolent resistance, but we're coming back and letting you know that we don't agree with you. And we're not going to be owed by a president who says, I need a loyalty oath. And that's what he said to the Supreme Court when he was yelling and screaming. I need a loyalty oath. If you don't go my way, then you're wrong. You can see all these people on X, all these MAGAs. I couldn't understand it going, wow, disloyalty and this. I'm going, what do you mean disloyalty? You got to be loyal to the Constitution of the United States, not loyal to a person. That's not, we don't have King George anymore. We have a Constitution. And that Constitution says that regular people should do well, not just the wealthy, not just the powerful, not just have the powerful lie and put money in their pockets. And that's why our State of the Union is not good right now, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the mosh pit here, and there's some good points, and I'm really interested to hear if people think what people think the state of the country is right now. Are they happy with where we are? Are they unhappy? And if you're unhappy, why are you unhappy? And hopefully people won't just wear the cap of the team that they're on and just spout, standard party lines, but think about it and think seriously about what we can do to make the country healthier if you think it's not healthy right now.
Let's see what they say. Mike, there may always be homeless, but I don't know. Maybe we could do a better job at least cutting down the amount of homeless. And it is sad. And what's this rhino stuff? No, you're a Republican or you're not a Republican. You're a Democrat or you're not, or you're an independent. To me, I'm an American. And that's how you have to look at it. You're an American. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. Who's that? Sit in your ways. Sit in your ways. Well, I'm not. Bipolar losers. I don't know who they're talking about there. Look, America from Canada, uniparty. A lot of interesting stuff. People are just running around. It is kind of a uniparty. MAGA is. It's going to be very interesting in 2028 because things are going to really split apart 2027 in the Republicans. You're going to have some going this way, some going that way, but we're not there right now. We have to get there. We're here talking about where we think the State of the Union is and where we're going. Reality, there's only one country I'd rather live in. Here in America, we've been very clear. Just an American citizen's been up for like 13, 15 years, something like that. We've had an American flag up before it was cool. It's been up there. We've talked about how great this country is, how much I love my country. But just because you love your country doesn't mean you take the lies and run with it and cover up where the bad stuff is. You want your country to be better. You want your citizens, fellow citizens, to do better. So, of course, I'd rather live here. This is where I live. But I want my country to be better. I don't want it to be run by corrupt group, a cabal that's running around with cash and power from the president on down, who just tell us what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And if we don't, we got a problem. That's the problem. But still love our country. Why not?
Yeah. Mike points out that the USA just won the Olympic gold medal.
Oh, yeah, I heard overtime.
In overtime, I saw the goal.
But Joe
I peeked
didn't
over.
call the guy who hit
It was at Hughes. Hughes got the goal.
But Joe thought it would be somebody else. Who did you think it was? Hook?
It's a hook, yeah. Oh, I thought it'd be one of the sets of brothers. But anyway, I just want to point out that I haven't heard the post-game comments, but I suspect what you're going to hear is it was Team USA that won. The goalie played out of his mind, but he's probably not going to say, thanks to me, we won the gold medal. The guy who scored the game-winning goal is probably going to say, thanks to the pass that helped set me up, we won the gold medal. They're going to talk about it probably as a team, and that's really what reflects America.
And the U.S. women did too, Joe. The U.S. women as well, yes, also did it too, right?
Absolutely. And I heard their comments after the game. They talked about working together as a team.
Mm-hmm.
As a team, they didn't care what country the ancestors came from. They didn't care about their political views, who they voted for. They had a goal, which is to score goals. And they did. And they prevented goals from the other team. That's what makes this country great. And when a country works that way and functions that way, we win gold medals, and we win gold medals in life. And I'm concerned that there's pressure on people not to work together as a team, to just defend their particular side, to look out for their interest. And when you talk about loyalty to one man, it's not one man isn't America. It's the Constitution and the fabric of the humans who live in this country to work together to look out not just for our short-term goals, but for our long-term goals, to be there for our children and grandchildren. And we seem to be losing some of that. But I think that maybe our leaders are losing it, but the spine of the American people are not losing it. So that's why I'm still optimistic about the health of the country.
Well, I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic. I just think right now it's not doing that well. Doesn't mean you can't be optimistic about it, Joe. Just got to say up front, that's kind of what you're saying. You're not that happy now with what's going on, but you're optimistic it's going to do better. It should. We have the best written constitution in the world. Nobody's ever had one like that. It's supposed to make sure that your individual rights are protected from government. Unlike in this situation where government's trying to come in and take total control of it, like they want to take in with the voting rights stuff. But we'll get into that another time. We just sit here and you go, well, both parties are radical. I'm seeing some people going, when do the elites not run a country? That's not really where we are. We're talking about total domination now. We're not talking about elites who are making money here and there like the Epstein people did, and you didn't hear about it, and they were able to do their emails and run around and hide and do what they wanted to do and just take advantage of these young girls and women at that time. What you see now is they're in your face. They run it. They get the cash. They don't pay taxes. They pay very little taxes. They don't take salaries. They just run everything, and they get all this money from the government. We don't see it. We don't have at NASA anymore. We have Elon Musk Inc. as our NASA. I mean, think about what's going on. We haven't had it like this before. We did in the early 1900s. That's what I was saying. When you had J.P. Morgan, you had the railroads, you had Standard Oil, you had Ford, you had all those major players But it's with social media, they have total control of everything, and they know where to go to make more money off of others. And then you have a top government who are more than glad to take the cash or not the cash, but whatever benefits come in from being in the government. I mean, look at this. How about the Secretary of Labor? She was in trouble for some type of I think taking advantage of. I think she's had some type of inter-office love affair with some guy, Joe. Now we find out her husband's been coming in, having hands feely, touchy-feely with the women in the office, and he's been barred from the office. Well, what's going on with this country, with this government? They don't care. So then you get a president who I think is just lost when you listen to him, and all he does is get mad and call everybody names. Nah, it's not good. But people have to stand up, and I think people are. And I think what's strong is that's the great thing about communications. People see it after a while. Did you see he refused to take questions from anybody real after when he went up to complain about the Supreme Court? He had people, oh, are you angry? Oh, were they disloyal to you? Oh, this, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you because you're not real. Because he didn't want to answer real questions. He just wants to get his BS out there. So we look at this, we have to understand we are run by elites. We are run by a government who doesn't care about us, but only cares about pushing their message. And that's where we are. And Joe's got his grandchildren coming, so I don't want to hold him up. And I want to note something. It's every week, Devo. We are devolving. Here we are talking about we're the elites, the early 1900s. We are devolving to different parts of American history. We sure aren't going forward. But now the Baltimore Orioles, have been letting their guys pick the music when they come out in spring training to work out. One of the players plays Pink Floyd. The manager and some others have said, Pink Floyd, it's okay, but you ain't rocking to that. I mean, Joe, I think people understand. So I'm going to stick with the same idea I've been going with here. We started with Hendrix's first album, the Hendrix Experience. I'm going with the second album today. Axis, Bold as Love. This doesn't have alarm clocks. This doesn't have things to try to wake you up. This is maybe the greatest three-man rock group of all time. Yes, better than Cream. Cream wasn't close. The three-man best. Look at all the albums they had. Look at this. This is Axis. Are You Experienced, the first album. Then they get album, and then it's top three, and then he had I think he had a couple they released after he died. But this is the man. Incredible. Second album. Listen to the music on here. Look at this art, Joe. You know, Pink Floyd couldn't do this. Let's look at this music here. I'm telling you, I get worked up when I listen to this. EXP for this Spanish Castle Magic. Incredible. Wait Until Tomorrow. I think Noel Redding wrote that. Little Wing. If 6 Were 9. If All the Hippies Cut Their Hair. I Don't Care. I Don't Care. If 6 Were 9. You Got Me Floating. Castles Made of Sand. One of his most beautiful songs. Castles Made of Sand. Fall in the Sea. Eventually. Oh! God, Pink Floyd can't do that, Joe. I'm sorry. She's so fine. One Rainy Wish, but they close Little Miss Lover, and then Bold as Love. That's a big word they don't use anymore, Joe. We need to start loving each other more. We need to start coming in because I'm bold as love. Axis. Hendrix's second album, incredible. Put it on. He did things with technology we didn't know then. And it's just that when music went back and forth and all around. And you're sitting there going, where's this guy coming from? He was zone machine. He was great. He talked to his guitar. His guitar talked to him. He wasn't just a great guitarist. His guitar sang. You could sing with his guitar, Joe. The greatest guitarists, you could sing with their guitar. This is the man I saw. He was so great, Joe. Oh. Like a meteor in the sky. 3 albums gone. Joe.
I just want to point out, and I've been taking a peek at the mosh pit, and Mamie C is on fire today. She's making some fantastic comments.
Who is?
Mamie C.
What did she say?
Well, she's talking about accusing someone of TDS is such a useful way for people to willfully switch off their own BS
Oh, I
future
see that.
and never think critically while trying to do the same to others. Whoever needed freedom.
Very good. It's Mamie.
And talking about how if we address the addiction problems in this country and evidence-based treatments, we will reduce homelessness. We need to have better health insurance. Absolutely on fire. Thank you.
Very good, Mamie. James, we're not talking about Biden. He got thrown out. He didn't win the election. We're talking about Donald Trump, who made promises and has not fulfilled them, and it's just put money in his pocket. We're doing it here. Need to be a citizen to vote. Of course, James. Nobody's arguing with that. I think we're doing okay. Joe, do you hear the grandchildren in the background? Let me ask you, Joe. Do you appreciate Jimi Hendrix? I want to know.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's great. But Pink Floyd is also great.
Do you know any of his albums?
I'm sure I have a couple of his albums.
Yeah, which you sure?
The first I have.
Yeah, what? Yeah, how do you know?
How do I know?
When was the last time you pulled it out and listened?
I have not pulled it out in a while, but I listen to him on my radio station all the time.
What radio station?
On Sirius, the vinyl station.
He isn't on there all the time. The vinyl station. That's the old stuff. They also have Underground. You got Little Steven's Underground. Come on, let's start under. Come on, Joe. What
like
you should do is this. If you got serious and you really are serious about Hendrix, set up a Hendrix station.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but let me tell you, I love this guy. He's smart. He's a great family man. He's a great guy. He's a great friend. But when it comes to music, it just doesn't work. That's why he was on the first floor and I was on the second floor. Come on, Mush.
Defend me here. Pink Floyd is great.
Great.
Gilmore solos, the best. They show some intelligence. They show intricacies, thinking.
And alarm clocks. What rock group
they have many different sound effects that display a certain feeling. They got the heartbeat in the background.
Yeah, and they got
Dark Side of the Moon is probably the best album of all time.
Oh, it is so boring. It needs those bring.
Quadrophenia may be second.
Not
but
even close.
Dark Side of the Moon, number one.
Quadrophenia wasn't the Who's best album.
Quadrophenia is fantastic.
It wasn't the Who's best. Tommy's much better than that.
Tommy's very good. Yeah, I love Tommy. That would be my second choice.
Who's next?
Yeah, that was great too. That was great. Those are three great albums. Yeah. Those are three great albums. But Quadrophenia shows brilliance. Rain Over Me. Just
a couple
brilliance.
Songs. Not a bad album. My God, it was nice, but it ain't Tommy. And it sure ain't Who's Next, which I think is the Who's best album.
No, they're great. No question about it.
I did, but we're come back to the real.
Talking about album covers. Who's Next album cover is the best album cover.
It is great, but you don't even own that.
Yes, I do. I have all the
played it. When I was on the first floor, understand, all the smart guys thought they were on this first floor. All the party guys were on the second floor. And we held our own. And I would come down, and they wanted to hear real music. They had to come up. It's like heat has to float up to hear all the heat. I never heard.
The smoke tended to float up to the second floor. I know.
What were you playing down that first floor? Nothing.
Moody Blues, Pink Floyd.
Moody Blues is okay, but you can fall asleep to that too.
That's great stuff. Prog rock.
What? Ride My Seesaw. The first album.
Timothy Leary.
What? Timothy Leary. Good song.
It's great.
If anybody knows Timothy Leary, whatever.
Everybody knows a Timothy Leary song.
Yeah, but it's not great. It's a
Timothy
good
Leary's.
There he goes. He's going to start the dancing too. You'll have to go back to 2 years ago watching him dance.
Oh, my God. You guys.
Oh, man. Moody Blue, Ride My Seesaw. No, what was that first album where it had Sunday, Tuesday afternoon and all that? Pretty good album. It was
pretty good. It was great.
Look, what was great about then was you just had new music coming out, and you'd go to the store to see what albums look great. But you're talking later. This is
Yes. What about Yes?
This is
we played Yes all the time.
Yeah, but that was 71, 72. This is 66, 67. I'm sorry. 67 started in Monterey. 67, 68 died in 70? Come on, Joe. I mean, Joe. This Joe.
He could play pretty good guitar.
Pretty good guitar.
He's a
Oh,
pretty good
my
guitar
Lord.
player.
Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Come on, Joe. We're going to leave you alone. Go to your grandchildren. We're so happy you all checked in on us. We're happy you checked out our State of the Union. We're not coming on Tuesday night, but we'll come on Wednesday to talk about it. I would say don't watch it all. Watch the greatest hits part. They have it pretty much, and please quit. They have it pretty much done to greatest hits at the end. So I say watch the greatest hits. And then we'll be back Wednesday and we'll be able to talk about it. And you'll see if our State of the Union was better than the other. A LB thing, just so you know, Alito hung a flag upside down, which is, just so you'll know, which he said his wife did, because that normally means emergency, I need you. When you see the American flag upside down, it means it's really a bad situation to be in. So that's what he hung, and he said his wife did it. Alito is, he is just such jive. Thomas is just owned. I mean, it's too obvious, too much money. But that's where we are with that. The supines, they are supine. Birthright is all that matters. Joe. Axis, bold as love. I'm just so happy. I just feel love, Joe. I feel love for everybody. And we'll come back and say, was his stuff all as good as ours? Was his arguments? They're all bold as love. Just ask the Axis. If you're square,
Excuse me.
Good night. I got it. He sneezed the truth. If you're square, we ain't there. We'll see you Sunday. Thanks for coming. Thank you all. Joe?
And that's the way it is, period.
See you Wednesday at 5.